What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Horizon Netflix show, and something has clearly happened to it. Now, I don't know whether to call it like, is it dead, is it canceled, or is it gone? I think as time has gone on, like to level with you, I think as time has gone on, it feels like there's no way PlayStation and Sony can actually let this go, right? Like this is one of the big ones, like it or hate it. I mean, we've had the Horizon talk, if we had too much Horizon, all that stuff. We've talked about that before. I get it. I get both sides to it. But Horizon is a big IP. It's maybe up there with the God of Wars and The Last of Us. And when you make these, when you want to make these movies and you want to make these shows based off the properties, Horizon kind of needs to be one. If you're doing a Last of Us one, which they did, and they are still, if you're doing God of War, I think on Amazon, right? Like Horizon, yeah, you're going to do it. But what seems to happen, this actually came from Rolling Stone, and it seems very, very legit. I mean, you could take it with a grain of salt. Scoop, Rolling Stone has learned that two of the Umbrella Academy showrunner Steve Blackman's projects that were in development at Netflix, Horizon, and then an original series called Orbital, are no longer moving forward. Now, I will say, since that happened, right, so I saw that. I think a lot of people saw it, and it's kind of got spread around. When you go on that tweet, and this is what I kind of did, you look at the replies, and there's not actually a lot. I mean, shocker, like these journalists don't get a lot of replies. But a lot of the replies are saying, well, can you clarify a little bit more? Because I think there's a difference between, right, because this is a guy, I don't know too much about it. Like, I truly, I care in terms of, like, justice and stuff, and that I don't want certain things to happen, but I haven't paid attention to it literally at all. So there's allegations on this guy of, like, workplace, maybe harassment or whatever he's done. Whether it's true or not true, almost kind of separate, at least to this discussion. Point being, the guy's in trouble, and his projects are now, kind of crumbling, right? So what's the point there? Well, is this because the news, the scoop, is that Netflix basically is dropping it. And are they dropping it because of him? So there's a couple ways it can go. If you get a different showrunner, would Netflix take it? Or are you just ditching Netflix all? So Netflix would be ditching you technically, right? If you're PlayStation. So Netflix ditches Horizon. Now, do you shop Horizon around? Because I believe that Sony is like the backers of Horizon. Like they're not going to Netflix and saying, here's the IP, you do everything. You're using your money, you're using all that stuff. I believe, and I don't know 1,000% sure, so again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that Sony is the one taking the responsibility, and then they made the agreement that it will go on Netflix. So it's possible PlayStation or Sony can still do it and shop it around. Maybe Amazon wants it, maybe a Tubi wants it, or whatever these stupid streaming platforms are. You know what I mean? So for me, I kind of want to know that last piece, because that last piece is the most important. Like, it is possible that the show's dead entirely. Now, I struggle to believe that happens because, again, for how big Horizon is. Now, you've seen people, maybe you haven't, but one argument online has been, well, maybe they also realize the budget. It could be this guy, the showrunner, right? But also, you think about how big Horizon needs to be. Like, number one, The Last of Us is an expensive show to make. It is very expensive. And they didn't even show the infected all that much in the first season. They say they're going to do it more as time goes on, right? But they didn't, and it was very high budget. You think about Horizon, the enemies, yes, there are tribes, okay? There are. But the main primary enemy when you look at a Horizon game is what? They're robot dinosaurs. You know what I mean? That must... I'd be scared if you're backing it with money and you're saying, wait a second, what are the primary antagonists of this world? Maybe they're not even like antagonistic. You're kind of the one, disrupting them, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? So that's another part to it as well, right? And that would go more towards, is it canceled altogether, right? Is Netflix dropping it from this guy from PlayStation saying the money is just too, but yet again, like, wouldn't it be PlayStation that does the money? So I'm confused. I gotta level with you. I don't know the situation, right? I feel that it's too big of a name for PlayStation to just not do a show on it. Now, by the way, this is separate from my own opinion. I've said it before. I don't need shows on any of these things. If you drop the Horizon show, that's fine. I don't think it needs one. I think the way that PlayStation is going. I think the mentality of PlayStation is they want it, so they're not going to let it go. That's what I've been saying this whole video, right? Alex's opinion, I don't care. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. I don't think we need it. I think gaming is the best way of, showing it. I've seen the pitch towards, like, can you animate it? Like, doing an animated series of Horizon would be pretty freaking cool, or you just keep it as the video game. I mean, that's what I've said since the very beginning, is just keep these things as games. But no, if you're going to do it as a show, you're going to do it. So it's like, okay, let's follow it along. So just to address that kind of part. But yeah, we'll see what happens, because there's a couple ways it can go. It could be completely dead. It can be searching for a new, distributor, right? Maybe, or whatever you want to call it, like a streaming service that's going to actually play it on that streaming service. It has to either look for that, be canceled altogether, come back to Netflix, but was it a budget thing? Was it just the showrunner? Do they have to get a new showrunner? And also, I mean, if he's the showrunner attached to Horizon, right? And even if Netflix drops them, well, you're going to shop around this show from this showrunner to the Amazons and the other places of the world. I don't even know what they are. I don't even know what they are, right? But you shop them to the other ones. Wouldn't they not want it because of that guy? I mean, I would imagine, right? Because now he's, like, marked in Hollywood, whether he did it or not. I mean, again, like, that's almost separate in this situation. But, like, isn't it marked now? Or, like, you're not going to get somebody to take it with him, leading the show. You have to get rid of him. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Sony hasn't. Nothing. This is just a Rolling Stone thing. Nobody has really said anything from Netflix's side or from PlayStation's side. So we're still waiting on that stuff as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Bell icons turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.